Welcome back, State of Decay 2 survivors. This is Congrexes Prime coming at you with a heavy weapons build guide for Powerhouse versus Marathon. Which is better? And that is a loaded question, and I'm going to try to unpack that into an actual video. So what we're going to talk about in this video is basically what is Powerhouse versus Marathon. Now, we all know that our heavy weapons or heavy weapon specialization came into play right when Providence Ridge came out. That was, almost a year ago. And when that happened, they introduced or incorporated the heavy weapon specialization into Powerhouse. But by doing so, every time you grab a heavy weapon, you change what Powerhouse is. Because Powerhouse used to be in State of Decay 2. I have to say that because it was different in State of Decay 1. Used to be the only way that you can get a drop kick in State of Decay 2. And some would say, well, what the heck is up with the drop kick? Well, the drop kick is probably one of the most underused abilities in State of Decay 2, and it's also one of the most powerful ones, specifically against the Plague Pharaohs, which gives you a 2-tap ability. You execute the drop kick. Once you execute that drop kick, you put the Pharaoh into a stun state, and then you're able to then execute him in 2 steps. So Powerhouse, for that matter, is very strong, and if used wisely on a one-on-one versus any Pharaoh or any Plague Pharaoh. It doesn't matter which one you're fighting, the Standard or the Plague, you can 2-tap them. That's what made Powerhouse so nice. Now, when they incorporated the heavy weapons, we lost that. We lost the drop kick. We gained this check maneuver, and we gained the power, power strike, which to me is underpowered, because if you take 3 seconds to load up a swing and then you could just knock one zombie back and not even put them in a stun state like a Pharaoh, then it's kind of like a useless ability. Now, if it was able to do what Powerhouse did, which is you charge up and then you swing that and then you hit the Pharaoh and the Pharaoh's in a stun state, automatically then it becomes a 2-step process. Then I think, that power hit will be worth it. But that's just my opinion. We're gonna go into a deeper dive here with Marathon, and why I think Marathon with the heavy weapon is a better situation. And some of you guys might be like, "What? What are you talking about? Marathon, you gotta try to stay as light as possible." And heavy weapons are very difficult to stay under those light conditions because they're so heavy. Most heavy weapons are between 10 and 20 pounds. And it's going to require you to always have a lighter caliber weapon in terms of range. And you're going to also have to rock what most of you guys like to call the fanny pack backpack. And, and rock that instead of, rocking something that gives you, more slots, a few more slots. You'll be able to carry more stuff. So we're going to take a deep dive, and we're going to talk about my first character that I'm going to set up with Marathon and show you guys which heavy weapon is, in my opinion, the strongest versus which heavy weapon is the weakest. So without further ado, let me introduce the character and the character class. So let me introduce to you guys Deanna Vasquez, just in case you haven't seen my solo survivor playthrough. She was my Marathon character that I took in to that playthrough and did a solo survivor experience. Now, I did rock its sledgehammer a whole lot in that series for a reason. The main reason is its knockdown ability of the sledgehammer. Max durability is pretty good, and the high impact as well. And it only weighs 15 pounds, so it gave me that wiggle room to be able to stay under light conditions, what we're going to talk a little more about later. So let's talk about engaging pharaohs and why this knockdown ability is so important. As you guys can see, every time I hit the pharaoh with that particular sledgehammer, it knocks them back and it gives you a little bit of wiggle room. But the most important part is, in this particular engagement, I'm going to show you guys how many swings it takes to take down a pharaoh. Now, this is all done in real time, in real game. This is not like a made up situation. This is actually game footage of me looking for a pharaoh, looking for a fight, and adapting to the way you would adapt to in real combat, not a simulation. So the pharaoh's attacking me. My whole point of this particular fight is to see how many swings it takes to take out his armor, and then obviously to take out, to take him out. As you can see there, he is stunned. I could have finished it right there, but I decided not to. And that's all part of that knockdown ability. So we're going to continue this fight. I'm going to continue to swing. And again, he's knocked down again. There's the armor. And I run out of stamina. Now, this is when Marathon is a beautiful thing. Watch how my stamina is going to come back, even if I'm in a down situation, and I'm able to run and get my stamina back. Like you see right there. See, my blue bar is recharging. All I'm doing is running. Not once did I use any chips, sodas, or stims in this fight, and this is going to be the case through the next few fights that we're gonna demonstrate here, guys. Alright, so now we're going to do what I call a sloppy fight, but this is kind of an important fight because from every mistake that you make in any game or anything in life, it's a learning experience, and that's the way you learn. So the whole point of me fighting this pharaoh was to demonstrate how important it is to clear the ads around the pharaoh if you're going to engage the pharaoh in melee combat like I'm doing here. So, and I'm demonstrating again the knockdown capability of the two-handed weapon without being Powerhouse. And here, as you guys saw, I had a golden opportunity to kill the pharaoh in a short amount of time, but I decided not to kill his ad friend, and of course he interrupted. And now I'm starving for stamina. Now at this point, you have options if you're not a marathon based character, but since I'm marathon based, I can do this. I can just run, get my stamina back, not have to worry about consuming any type of consumable except healing consumables. Obviously, if my health bar gets back low, there's no way to regen that unless you heal yourself. So that's an obvious one. But in terms of using stims of any type or using any potato chips or any sodas at this particular moment, I don't have to. This character is what I call an eco-friendly character, and that's probably what makes this build strong, is the fact that it's eco-based. You're not using chips, you're not using stims, and you're not using sodas to sustain a fight. You can actually sustain a fight by just running, and that's it. Now, if I was in a bind and I desperately needed stims, I would, surely use them. You know what I mean? But at this point, I didn't feel like I was in any danger. I'm fighting one pharaoh, and one or two ads at a time, and that's okay. I'm used to that. That's not a big issue for me. And I have plenty of space here, and I go ahead and execute the zombie, and I make a bad situation into a good one, and also a good one in a sense because we're learning from it together. This next engagement here is what normally happens to a lot of people in State of Decay, and the first thing that most people get into is a 3 pharaoh, bomb drop, as I like to call it. And they're on me, and I'm kind of in a bind here, guys. I could have ran the other way and set myself up to get on top of a vehicle, but I wanted to demonstrate to you guys that that's not necessary. That's not a necessary tactic unless you want to use it. There are other things in the map that you can use as obstructions, like I'm about to do here. Boom, jumping over that fence, dropping a line of fire, and making myself scarce at this point, giving myself some time to reset, heal up, kill the ads that are coming, and then worry about these pharaohs and stretch them out. You guys notice I stretched them out, gave myself a lot of an opportunity here, and now it becomes, a one-on-one. I killed both pharaohs. Now it's just me and this pharaoh, and then I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate to you guys my sledgehammer and why I really enjoy this weapon. It's not a hard weapon to get in game. You get it from just randomly looting. Also, you can get it from hearts. It's not like this top secret weapon that nobody knows about. But that's it, guys. That's want to demonstrate to you guys with the normal character that it could be done. Alright, next on the list, we're going to be rocking a bladed weapon, and it's called the Guandu. It's a heavy weapon, and this is basically the sledgehammer versus the Guandu. You could see the max durability, the knockdown, and the impact's a little higher in the sledgehammer than on the Guandu. This is going to be the stats of the Guandu, and again, it is a bladed, two-handed weapon. And just like everything else, guys, I always preach, if you're going to rock 7-star marathon, which is maxed out marathon, in order to take advantage of that, you need to be able to keep your carrying into the light conditions in the green so that you can sprint and regen your stamina without having to use any consumables and become eco-friendly, as I like to call it. So again, Agent Vasquez is fighting some zombies, and just like Lethal Zone loves to do, is just to throw you a pharaoh, and now we're gonna deal with the pharaoh. The same way we deal with every other pharaoh, except that this time we have a bladed weapon. And the only thing that I don't like about bladed weapons, for the most part, since they have that low knockdown ability, it doesn't put them in a stun state very quickly or at all. You have to actually do the work and actually keep swinging away at the pharaoh to kill him. And I think that's the one thing I don't like about him. I like that the hammers and the heavy high impact slash knockdown gives you a higher chance to put them in a stun state, which means it takes less swings. Less swings means you get a quicker, more efficient kill, and less things can go wrong. Now, if you guys notice, I have this pharaoh, and I'm using walls, I'm using cars, I'm using obstructions, I'm using everything in my power to make space between me and the pharaoh so I can regen my stamina, which you can do with a character that's non-marathon. And I just want to demonstrate that there are other ways to fight pharaohs without just jumping on top of the car and shooting at it, or using the same old. There are other ways to kill, and that is one way to do it. Now we're gonna jump on board a powerhouse character that I have. This is pretty standard build, and his name is Hancock, and I didn't pick that, guys. That's just what the game gave me, and I want to show you guys the difference in style of play. Now, everything up to this point is going to be the same. I actually initialized a 3 pharaoh fight, and the whole key to these fights is always to try to eliminate one of them as quickly as you can, because dodging 3 pharaohs can be difficult. And then you try to put the pharaohs in front of you. Now everything is the same here except my stamina. See that? Now I pop the stim, and that's the thing about having Powerhouse and not having a way to regen your stamina. Now I could have jumped on top of the car, got my stamina back, and waited and done the patient game. But if you're not like me, and you have a lot of patience, then that's the way to go. But me, I want to fight, and I wanted to just demonstrate how eco-friendly, without having to use any kind of cheese balling in this game to get your stamina back. You can easily do it with a powerhouse character. As you saw, it took about the same amount of time as it would have if Agent Vasquez was doing it without doing powerhouse. And I think that's what I wanted to get across to you guys. It's just that powerhouse is not as strong as it should be. I think it needs to be rebalanced, and it's something that maybe Undead Labs needs to look at. Well, guys, that is the video. Hopefully I got my point across to you guys about bladed two-handed weapons versus blunt versus knockdown versus impact, and the importance of, if you're gonna rock marathon, to stay under those weight restrictions of light condition. Only if you found this information to be helpful, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Leave a comment. Let me know which spec you guys like the most and why. Are you guys a powerhouse team? Are you guys marathon team with the fanny packs in the back? You team prime or you team whoever? I'm just joking, guys. Let me know what you guys think of this video on the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Light, love, and peace. Congrexes. Checking out. I want to give special thanks to all of you that have hit that join button and have joined the My Dudes clan. I want to start from the bottom of the list, which are the people that have been here the longest, which is Red Cougar UK, a My Dudes legend, Sinjin Sensei, Steve Price, Bundy D Games, a My Dudes legend, Easy 3 Trucker, B-Boy Tep Deck, Sunny Storm, Nocrocious, aka Tino here. He is a My Dudes hero. Alex Young, who's also a My Dudes hero. Tyler Asler, WW Fierce Gamer, Sawsome Gaming, Lord Vengeance, who is also a My Dudes legend. Girly 100, Voodoo Roll, Chief K2, Gaming with Tor is also a My Dudes legend. Angela Williams, Mark Thomas, 8 Cup 4919. Again, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. Some of you guys have been here since day one that the My Join button is went active, and and for everybody else that have joined recently, thank you so much again. I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart.